Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Past few weeks I've been spending a lot of time up here in the upper half of our new orchard and trying to get some understory plants put in and to try and develop kind of a permaculture system. So let's take a look at what's been going on and where we stand. Before I started planting anything, I decided to get the area kind of cleaned up, and I just spread a nice layer of wood chips everywhere, both in the paths and in the beds. I have a pretty nice first coat of chips down in here. So now I'm going to start caging off all of the new bare root trees that I put in this spring. That's both to keep the deer away from it and to keep the chicken from scratching underneath it, because they'll come in here and knock all the wood chips off and kind of dig up the roots. This one here happens to be a hazelnut. That one is a Marionberry. Over here it's hard to see. There's a whole bunch of buckthorn growing over here. This is all buckthorn here. But this tree right here is an Nanking cherry. It is barely leafing out. This one was actually put in last year. It's got a few leaves down there. So with that one closed in. Over here is a boysenberry, again being eaten by buckthorn. But here's the stick itself that I planted, and there's nothing coming out of it. But there is a little sprout coming up out of the roots. So it looks like that one should make it too. And last but not least, we have another hazelnut over here. And much like the boysenberry, the stick itself looks pretty much dead. But I've got a little tiny baby root coming out down there at the ground. I got the new cages put in really short order, and then it was time to look at the old cages around the two existing apple trees. Alright, let's see what we got down here. Alright. Well, we've got some blackberries that are actually putting out flowers. That's kind of fun. Whatever this weed is. This is climbing false buckthorn. This stuff is a serious pain in the butt because it kind of grows pretty much everywhere around here. We got a little maple tree. We've got whatever this thorny, nasty little sucker is. Got some ferns in here. All right, let me clean this out. All right, the first thing I'm going to put in the ground are these daffodil bulbs. I got these from my friend Adam, but they are now 2 to 3 years old, so their success rate is going to be pretty low. So I'm going to plant these pretty heavy. All right, this is how I decided to plant these. I'm going to put them in basically at the 4 compass points on both trees. I'll replicate the same. I'm not going to be one bit fancy about this rock. All right, the next thing I'm going to add is, first off, some lupin, which is a nitrogen fixer as well as a great pollinator, and also some crimson clover, which is also a great nitrogen fixer and a great pollinator. So what I'm going to do is on the north side, I'm going to put in the much taller lupins, and over here on the south side, I'm going to put in the crimson clover because it's quite a bit shorter and it won't get shaded out by the lupins. All right, first thing I'm going to put down is the clover, and this is a lot like grass seed where it more or less just wants to be on the surface. Oh, that's a fun blue color, look at that. Maybe that's so you can see how well you've spread it. And next up we'll put some lupins on the north side here, which is a bit shadier. Sprinkled on top, and very much like the clover, this says basically to just barely cover. Alright, now I'm going to cover all this stuff up basically by scuffing up the surface. None of this wants to be buried particularly deep, so I'm just kind of making sure it has good soil contact. For mulch, I'm just going to use some of this straw, so I'll quickly spread this out underneath both of the trees. going to try to put this stuff down about a ½ inch to maybe an inch thick at the very, very most. But the biggest thing is to make sure it's not clumped together. All right, that looks pretty good. I think we can probably put the cages back up and get everything watered in. Oh, there's some rock. This is the fun part. Oh, some more rock. Ooh, I bent the thing. This might take a few minutes because, oh, good enough. All right, I'm pretty satisfied with where we stand right now. The wood chips look great. We have all the little bushes put in, and they're pretty well protected from the deer and the chickens now at this point. So what I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting some annual vegetables and things like that in and amongst the plants to fill in the spaces that are left over. So make sure you check back. I hope to see you then.